when I'm gone. Can be pull your tears back. We put the bang and produce. You got no chance of hanging. They take the tails when you're flipping the quarter. We ain't slowing down, we crashing through the border.
Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's Week 14 of the NFL on EA Sports. Detroit Lions taking on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They've handled all comers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The Vikings offense coming out for the first time, and in his 5th season leading this crew, coming off his 3rd career Pro Bowl nod, Kirk Cousins.
Not bad for a 4th-round draft pick. Well over 100 career starts now. And the chemistry with his top targets, really on point. They spend a lot of time in practice and after practice making sure the routes are run well, and he knows exactly where they're going to be on the field. And when they get open, he delivers.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down. Draw play. Cousins to Cook. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Well, this defense for the Lions, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
Jordan Berry out to punt on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Lions will take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the 3rd overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trey Lance.
And what a performance in his last game. Couple of touchdown passes. That was positive.
But more than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not what he's looking for. What did Vince Lombardi say, though? Winning isn't everything.
It's the only thing.
And that's what he hangs his hat on after last week's game.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Lance sliding out of the pocket. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's caught at the 25. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. This is caught by Williams. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. That one goes for 16 yards and sets him up first and goal.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great play there. His second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 16 carries, 63 yards.
Sitting 10th in the league in rushing isn't bad, but it's also not as high as where he knows he should be with how talented he is. There's definitely another gear there, and hopefully their game plan gives him an opportunity to hit it and put together one of his best performances of the season.
Cousins from the gun on third. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he's across the 45. It'll be second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They go play action. Cousins. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Chris Jones make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play action fake.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Complete. This is Albert Wilson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. To throw, Cousins. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Play fake, Cousins. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 28. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. A first down throw for Cousins. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Against a team coming off a win just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
On 2nd and 10, Cousins. Battled by the linebacker, but still adjusts and makes the catch. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Hey, during the course of any game, you'll see tip passes, but how often do we actually see the running back come up and end up making the play?
Well, shifty fella getting in there and grabbing it.
Yeah, you know, they always talk about how running backs have a nose for the end zone. They have a nose for the ball, too. They want in their hands at all times.
He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Bullock's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Well, partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 12-0 at this juncture of the season before losing on a Monday night 38-24 to the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl way back on December 2nd of 85. But then they'd never lose again en route to winning Super Bowl 20.
And when you look back on it, partner, didn't it almost feel like a setup game? Because they were playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were protecting their franchise's undefeated season of 1972, that team. And you know what that team does. They love to celebrate the fact that they still are the only one to get through an entire NFL season that way. That was Dan Marino's 3rd year playing under the great Don Shula, and they were motivated to keep that franchise's record intact.
Now a dump off here complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down. They'll try the middle with Cook. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. After 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Play action now. Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And a high throw there as this is knocked away. Down to the ground and incomplete. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Cousins. And Cook has it left side. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the 1st half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the 2nd half, that may loosen up the defense a little.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
As we roll on here in the month of December, Week 14, coming up tonight, we got a good one in the AFC West. Get the parkas out, Kansas City and Denver from the frigid Empower Stadium at Mile High. And then tomorrow night, you can turn those parkas in for some shorts, golf polos, and flip-flops. Monday Night Football in Arizona. Patriots, Cardinals, 8:15 Eastern. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the Lions who got the road victory in that one, so they'll be looking to claim the season series now here at home in Detroit. From the 30 on second down, Lance. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. And Lance going to throw. Found his target. It's Anderson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Flush to his right. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Excellent work there by Lance as he scrambles for the first down.
I don't think that run was anything that was designed, but when his reads were blanketed, as he went through his progressions, all that was left was for him to run and try and pick it up himself.
A first down carry for Barkley. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings' 15-yard line. So they need 2 yards here on 3rd down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. Touchdown! A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys are able to extend their lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Getting the ball is Cook running left. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Now Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Boyd. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away. And Sanders now to return. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. So holding there on the return, and that'll back him up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
Evans has it left side. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. On play action, Lance. Rolling to his left. Now a leaping catch, he's got it. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 23 yards the pickup there.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now a play fake. Lance steps away. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Off of play action, here's Lance. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
A very limited time left to get into field goal range before the half, and they tried to get it all on one throw right there.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. And just 18 seconds remain till halftime as they come up on 1st and 10. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll start up at Highmark Stadium, just outside of Buffalo. And that one tied 14 apiece in the second quarter. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. A couple of touchdown passes there for Joe Burrow. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last. We head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And that one all even as they play the visiting Texans. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. On the return, Williams. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And the Lions getting set to go on offense to start the third. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
On second down, here's Barkley. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
And force incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Throwing is Lance on third down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. He completes it to Boyd.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And he's got his tight end, that's Smith. And he will have a Vikings first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Off the play fake, Cousins. Well, the corner gets a hand on it, but he still makes the play. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
Guaranteed they've been talking a lot about, can we find something that'll go our way? And that tip ball, that definitely just did.
Well, and with this margin manageable, yeah, that gives them a little juice maybe on the tip.
Yeah, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. That could help them get right back in it.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 19. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. They'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Working out of the gun, Cousins. They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey.
I'm going to show you, man.
And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick six.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On play action, Cousins. He gets this one to Boyd. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Cousins. And that's caught one more time by Boyd. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Found good room to run there. Returns at 14 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Another shot now for this Lions offense. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down. At the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 41 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Again, it's Barkley. Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit. The middle with Barkley. Yeah, maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. 3 quarters in the books. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Barkley, inside handoff. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. It's a pickup of 12. 2nd play in a row with a 12-yard gain.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Lions on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Lions add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
And he wisely will throw that one away. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. From the gun, here's Cousins. Throw left side complete. That's Cook. And he goes out right around the 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37. To the air again, it's Cousins. He finds his man, complete. It's Boyd. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. Complete. Jefferson the target. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down. To throw is Cousins. And this one right back into the hands of Jefferson. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. From the red zone now, Cousins gets this pass again to Boyd. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. On 2nd down, Cook, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Cousins. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Second down and goal. Cousins to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Third and goal for Cousins. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Lions are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. So a good drive with a bad ending, Charles. They move it down the field well. Cannot finish it off, though, as it's intercepted in the end zone.
Deflating, that has got to be the word here because they were sharp in moving it down the field. But sometimes you start thinking like a touchdown is a given, and it doesn't always work out that way as we saw there.
They'll start here with Jackson, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the 22, here's second and 8. They run again with Jackson. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd down, this is Jackson. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for Detroit, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, it's unfortunately more of the same.